everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kkoolade or Amanda, and for Halloween, I have something special and spooky for you. I found a challenge on Twitter called 13 Deadly Nights of CAS. It is a prompt, 13 days, 13 Sims, nothing special, just be creative. Halloween is my favorite holiday, so I've also got my Halloween attire on, and I got my nails done black and red, feeling very vampire-y and spooky. So the way this is going to work is there are 13 prompts for the month of October. In this episode, we'll be doing 6 of them, and then in my second episode coming out later this month, I will show you the remaining 7. All of my Sims that I'm making in CAS will be available on the gallery. I will also be posting them on Reddit and Twitter throughout the month. If you're interested in following any of those socials or looking at my stuff on the gallery, you can find that in the description below. And I would love to eventually have a page where I list out all of my CC finds. I don't currently have that at the moment. If you're interested in any of the items on my Sims, I'm more than happy to give you those links so that you can have access to that custom content as well. So without further ado, my darlings, let us see the Sims. Alright, so for our first Sim, we have fan of the supernatural. I wasn't really sure exactly where to go with this one in terms of theme, like what kind of fan of the supernatural. I know that's the point, is to be creative with it and like interpret the prompt in your own way. So what I decided to do is just your generic goth girl that has an interest in the supernatural, the witchy. She is the type of person that would hold a seance. But my kind of backstory for this character is that she is a metal or punk music enjoyer. On the way back from a concert that she was going to with her friend or boyfriend, they get into a car accident. The car flips a bunch of times. It's looking real bad. She's like dazed from hitting her head and thinks that she sees some kind of creature pull her friend out of the car and then like ends up helping her out of the car. It's all very like blurry and confused, but the creature runs off and she just catches a glimpse of it. So she owes her life to some kind of supernatural creature. Nobody really quite believes her, but she knows what she saw. She's also a teenager. I did make that change at some point in here. I made her, I believe that's the socially awkward trait. She's a little bit of an outsider and people don't believe her about this whole supernatural thing, which makes her seem weird to others. She's also a necromaniac. That is a CC trait that I have. She's just obsessed with death and learning about death, and I thought that would work for her very well. I made her the master vampire aspiration just from the sense of wanting to gain knowledge, and perhaps like she wants to be turned into a vampire too. Very Twilight era kind of teenager thing I'm going for. I was also thinking that another good one for her could be spellcraft and sorcery, because she's interested in magical things and learning about them. This was a fun opportunity for me to go a little quirky with some of the eyeliner. By the end here, I did not do this intentionally, but I actually think she kind of looks like a teenage Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3. I guess it was just like the brainworms, they're on my mind somewhere deep inside, and I just kind of ended up recreating that vibe. She's even got like an injured hand and like a scar on the face. It's really like there deep in my subconscious, just doing whatever it wants. I'm giving her some tattoos because she's punk and cool with a, you know, the werewolf on the back. It was almost like it was fate. It was meant to be. That's all I got for her, which actually it seemed like that worked out perfectly. So our second Sim is the perfectly disguised Sim. At some point when I was filming this, I ended up accidentally installing a skin overlay, a skin blend, and I didn't realize that it was applying to every single one of my Sims, so that was an accident on my end at some point. If you notice the skin texture looks different and then changes back, it's because I realized it was in my folders. So perfectly disguised, I knew that I wanted her to be a CEO lady. I wanted her to be in charge. She's a boss ass bitch. She's very good at her job. Her employees are also maybe scared of her, and she works really odd hours at the office. Like she always seems to be there before anyone else gets in, and she's always there late, and her main office doesn't have any windows in it. It's kind of strange. Other than that, she seems like a perfectly normal member of society. So she goes through a few different like outfit changes as I'm trying to figure out how to make her look, as well as like skin tone changes, because I liked the more natural hair on her, and I think she looks amazing. But I think where she really shines is when I get to her vampire dark form. She is very ambitious. She is a snob, and she is mean. So yeah, hence the employees being a little scared of her kind of thing. Like, she's intimidating. She is also having that master vampire aspiration, which is why I kind of wanted to go back and change like Teenage Shadow Hearts one to maybe the magical one instead, because I end up with a lot of this vampire aspiration. But she's the head bitch in charge, so of course she also needs to be the head bitch in charge of the vampire world. She's had years and years to hone her craft at being a human, of running the successful business, and I'm sure she's doing that on the other side of things in the dark world as well. I'm obsessed with this hair. It was actually like kind of hard to find the lips with the blood on them, like a Maxis match fashion, but the one that I found, if you just upped the saturation some, it ended up working out very well. In Vampire World, she gets to show off a little bit more of her sexiness because she's not in an office environment. You know, we got the titty out, we got the leg out. Her eyes go from being brown to reddish. She's also got a wine glass in hand, which looks a little bit funny when you're in Create a Sim, but as soon as she is like in a pose with a wine glass, it'll look very cute. So I think her vampire design is one of my favorites that came out of this first round of this challenge. So this next one is a timeless beauty, and as soon as I saw this prompt, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted her to be a 1920s vampire. Something about it just spoke to me. I also follow this Twitter page called like Wiki Victorian, and they post a lot of early 1900s, late 1800s actresses, and there's something that I find so gorgeous about the pencil thin eyebrows and the big doll eyes and the like the heart-shaped lipstick on the mouth. I just think it's so fun. So I did have some actors pulled up on the right to the side here to try and mimic the face as much as I could. My thoughts about this girl, I imagine she's an older vampire than our boss bitch girl. Like, she's been around probably a century or two now, because she has that 1920s vibe. Like, she came into prominence during the actual 1910s, 1920s, and people nowadays see her like she's still a celebrity, she's still famous, and they see her and they're like, oh wow, she's really paying homage to the 1920s with her vibes. Like, we love it, she's bringing it back in style. But in reality, like, she was there when it was happening. So I did have to go CC hunting for her a lot because it was hard to find some 1920s specific things, but I ended up liking the hair that I found. It was that perfect short kind of look. I imagine that her and our perfectly disguised girl know each other, like they are connected in the underworld. They're both snobs. Our timeless beauty girl is more focused on maintaining her fame and wealth and being a celebrity. Also an art lover and a music lover. Finding the dress for this was pretty difficult. I think I actually restart the game a couple times trying to figure out which one to put her in, but I end up deciding that the green kind of works. Oh, and I had to have the gloves. Like, I don't know if that was actually, were people wearing like those long gloves in the 1920s? I don't know, but something about it just screams old school, screams snob to me, so I wanted to go through with it. So now we are making her dark form, and my idea for this was it would still be 1920s themed, except it would be a little bit less eccentric. It would be more desaturated, as if it really had come from an older time. Her eyes are less vibrant, like her overall coloring, almost like a portrait that's been sitting in the sun for too long and it starts to yellow. That's kind of what I was going for here. But yeah, I think she's positively creepy. Like, if she peeked her head around your wall at night and then like stuck her fangs in your neck, like, I don't know, I'd be pretty scared. I like her. So the next one is Born Monstrous. I almost immediately had an idea for this one that I wanted to do something like bat or gargoyle related, which was a little bit of a challenge on how to make that work. So I ended up going with a gargoyle theme using these gray skins that I can't make a decision about. I could not find the perfect gray that I needed. I did find the CC bat nose that someone had made, and at first I thought it was too much, but I really think it completes the look now that I'm looking at it. Or like, as I was going, I also got some like CC ears to give it a little bit more of that monstrous look. So her traits, maybe like her backstory, you know, she is born as a monster. Her you know, features, they're not the default. You see her ears, you see her nose, and you can tell that this person is not a human. And so because of that, she has a limited social life. She feels socially awkward around people. She's gloomy because she wants to be like the other girls and she's jealous of them, but she doesn't really want to be lonely. She actually really wants to be friends with people, which is why I gave her a social aspiration. She would love a friend, honestly. Please, someone be friends with her. I think this one was maybe the most fun to make because I got to mess with the features so much. I gave her like, I think they're like World of Warcraft orc fangs or something, and I gave her a scar, and she's got like one eye she's mostly blind in, or maybe fully blind because someone attacked her because she's hideous. Oh, and of course she needed trip pants. Like, I don't know, it just felt right. Gargoyles need trip pants. When it came to the hair, I had a really hard time determining the hair because I wanted you to be able to see all of those little features that she had. I gave her some piercings because piercings are cool, and I end up going at some point here CC shopping for some big wings because I felt like that would really sell the whole thing. The next one is Child-Faced Hunter. This is another one that I kind of like immediately knew what I wanted to do. I love when small girls like look really adorable but are actually very threatening and evil. So of course she's a vampire. I made her a teenager, but like I don't think she's actually a teenager. You know, she's probably like centuries old, but I wanted her to have more of a baby face, so I went with the teenager age. She is also one of those I want to be the master vampire. She's very threatening. She lives for the thrill of the kill. She's evil. Like, this girl is straight up evil, and she's cheerful because I thought it would be creepy if she was also cheerful on top of being evil. Like, oh my god. It seemed really cool. It's very like my aesthetic. The pale, the red eyes, the blonde pigtails. I was a little unsure about what to do for her dress. This is also like maybe a little bit Little Red Riding Hood inspired. And then I found this dress that I downloaded. So the shape of the dress makes me think of the kind of schoolgirl with the big bow. You know, it's not particularly revealing. The red is shiny. It's eye-catching. Like, you would notice her in the dark. And then I gave her some cute little white sandals to go with it. And this is one of my favorite touches, is doing the blood on the knees as if she had like tripped and fallen. She was injured, like she was running away from something scary. So like the people that find her are like, oh my god, like you're hurt, like what can I do to help? I'm sure like other people know the story of, it's like a scary story about the girl with like a red scarf on or something, and then at the end, like when you remove the scarf from the girl, her head falls off. And so that's what this red string kind of reminded me of. That's why I ended up going with it. And also it was a bow, it was cute. Oh yeah, I also tried to make her eyes bigger and more doll-like by using some darker colors around them. So then when it came to her vampire form, it was pretty much just like same form, except I gave her some big nails, claws, and I changed her eyes, and I toyed with the idea of like putting more blood on her. I ended up going with the blood dripping from the eyes because that just felt very creepy. So like, imagine you go and you help this girl. She looks up at you, and before you even realize that something is wrong, like you realize that something is about to kill you, like she transforms, like her fangs come out, her claws extend, her eyes change colors to this black and red, and they start like dripping blood. Oh, it's so cool. So our last character for this is Gone Missing. So my idea for this one, again, playing with these gray skin textures, is I thought of a Gone Missing poster that, you know, is sitting in some kind of police precinct. It's been there for years. Like maybe this girl went missing in the 70s or 40s. I don't know, like when did they invent colored photos? I don't remember, but whenever that was a thing, it's just been sitting there for years. This girl's been gone forever. Maybe she's trapped somewhere, or maybe she's just dead. Nobody knows, but she is a friend of the world. She is outdoorsy. She's probably in some clubs. Oh, and I should mention specifically that she is a college student, not a high school student. So maybe she was a part of some kind of like all girls college where she was very well liked, very well known, maybe some kind of class president. Do they do that in college? I don't know. People liked her. Maybe she was like the leader of some kind of club, a club president. She's an insider. She knew everything that was going on. She's romantic. She's outdoorsy. Everybody loves her. So of course, like, the darling of the university goes missing and it's a huge scandal, but nobody ever recovered her body or found out what happened to her. I actually think she came out extremely gorgeous, just playing with all of these gray tones. I love her design a lot, but her existence is a mystery. She is the Bella Goth of my 13 Deadly Nights of CAS. Thank you all so much for being a part of this challenge with me. I hope you enjoyed my Sims, and I hope you enjoyed the remaining 7 in the next episode. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to support me. Get your spooky on this month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.